In the quiet corridors of a Springfield courthouse, a story unlike any other was about to unfold. Sergeant Nathan Carter, a retired soldier known for his brave deeds, slowly made his way into the building, his trusty companion Thor, the loyal Great Dane, by his side. The veteran, whose life had been carved by the harsh realities of war, navigated the space in his wheelchair with a dignified air, while Thor moved with a calm alertness born from years of service. This day was not about a simple parking ticket or a noisy dispute. It was a matter of heart and history. Can you imagine the weight of a life story carried into a courtroom? The air was thick with anticipation as every eye followed their slow, measured steps, leaving behind a spark of curiosity that would soon ignite into unforgettable events. As the morning light stretched long and gentle shadows danced through the tall windows, Nathan settled into a seat in courtroom. 3B Thor, whose muzzle told silent tales of time, mimicked his every move with quiet precision. Nathan's crisp dress shirt, now smoothed out by trembling hands, hinted at both courage and fragile worry. His blue eyes, firm and determined despite the years of hardship, flashed briefly in the light, reflecting past battles and present resolve. A small whisper escaped him as he patted his loyal friend's head. Old times, buddy, a soft promise of one last mission. The courthouse buzzed with the usual mix of legal minds and concerned families. Yet, the energy shifted as they approached the doors. Each step carried the promise of an unfolding drama, as if destiny itself had paused to watch their quiet courage. A composed young attorney in a charcoal suit stepped forward, holding a pile of legal papers with care. "I'm Sarah Matthews, your court-appointed lawyer," she said steadily, her eyes meeting Thor's with respectful admiration. Nathan's smile revealed both pride and a trace of worry. Here was a veteran on his final stand, defending a bond that no law or code could break. As they entered the room, every heart in the space felt the tension of a story that was more than a legal dispute. It was a battle for love, trust, and everything in between. Sarah's serious tone sent a shiver down the spine. What might come next? The courtroom, mostly empty at that early hour, braced itself as if it knew that nothing ordinary was about to happen. The atmosphere shifted when Judge William Morrison, a silver-haired man with a keen gaze, took his seat. With a practiced air, the clerk called out the case number, 2025 CV 4721, revealing that the city sought to forcefully remove Thor, labeling the dog a dangerous animal. In an instant, the room seemed to pulse with a mix of disbelief and grief. Nathan's heart pounded as he rose to defend the very being that had saved his life more times than he could count. He told a simple yet stirring story. During nights when his demons felt too heavy to bear, Thor had been there, steady, protective, and always ready to guide him back from the edge. His voice trembled as he recalled a night of overwhelming darkness when he had found himself lost on his back porch. Can you feel the pain of those long hours, the piercing cold of fear, and the small, warm comfort of a friend who never leaves your side? His words hung in the air, leaving the room filled with a heavy mix of sorrow and hope. Then, as the testimony swirled around him, an abrupt commotion drew every eye to the grand doors. 3 men dressed in dark clothing burst into the room with precision that belied chaos, their movements a jarring contrast to the solemn space. One man, marked by a deep scar, scanned the room with cold authority, announcing in a low, calculated tone that they were after files from a long-forgotten case, 2019 CVAT 56, a key piece in a tangled story of corruption. The tension skyrocketed in a heartbeat as Thor's posture shifted from calm obedience to alert readiness. The dog's deep growl resonated through the hall, a sound that harked back to days in distant battlefields. What would happen when a man's protective instinct meets a real threat? The court held its breath as every second stretched into a timeless moment of suspense. Nathan, summoning all his courage, moved forward as if stepping straight into history. With every word, he painted a picture of loyalty and the deep bond shared with Thor, a bond that had seen them through war, loss, and the darkest hours of life. Back home. He explained that Thor had never hurt anyone. On the contrary, the dog only acted to warn of dangers long before they could truly harm others. Every listener was drawn into the intimate landscape of his memories, a night of despair saved by a dog's unwavering vigil, where Thor had even fetched a forgotten phone as help arrived. His heartfelt declaration left the courtroom silent, hanging between the sharp lines of justice and the soft glow of shared humanity. Before anyone could catch their breath, the silence shattered once more. The scarred intruder's hand moved subtly towards a hidden weapon, and the situation threatened to tip into violence. Yet, in an astonishing twist, Thor abandoned his aggressive stance and suddenly sat down, issuing a sharp bark that resonated like a secret signal. Moments later, a tactical team slipped into the room, special officers armed with badges and resolve, and chaos gave way to controlled order. Federal Marshal Sarah Collins stepped forward, her voice cutting through the confusion as she explained that they had been tracking the intruders for weeks, linking them to a deeper web of conspiracy. Could the calm before this storm bring a turning point? In their fight? The room, now breathing relief, was marked by the unexpected twist of fate. Judge Morrison, ever composed, declared that the case of removing Thor would be dismissed. The city, represented by a shaken Mr. Reynolds, withdrew the petition, acknowledging the undeniable heroism of a bond that transcended legal definitions. With a nod, the judge cleared the case, leaving Nathan and Thor with a quiet, profound victory. Profound victory. Then, as if fate had one more surprise in store, Marshal Collins approached Nathan with an offer. The Marshal Service needed someone with his deep courage and Thor's remarkable instincts, an opportunity to help protect courthouses across the nation. Was this the beginning of a new chapter in a life already steeped in trials and triumphs? The suggestion hung in the air like a promise too bright to ignore. 6 months later, the same courthouse bore witness to a transformation. Nathan and Thor returned, now adorned with the respectful badges of the U.S. Marshal Service. No longer seen as mere veterans or troubled souls, they were now viewed as guardians. Their story, a beacon of hope and a lesson in resilience. They had helped train many veteran dog teams, weaving a network of protection and care across the nation. Though nightmares still lingered and some days continued to challenge them, Thor remained the unwavering friend who had helped shape each step on their journey. As they passed by reflective windows, Nathan reached down to scratch Thor's ears, a silent promise of home and hope, and softly said, "Oh, we made it, buddy." And just like that, with a gentle wag of a tail, they moved on to guard not just a courthouse, but a future where love and loyalty could turn fear into strength and judgment into understanding. What new missions awaited them around the next corner?